And you being a boxer, is that something you wanted for him? Or
No,
is that,
I knew the struggle. I knew the work ethic. I knew
you know he couldn't fight?
no.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. I don't need you, I do it myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. Okay, dream so big.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Episode 2, the All in All podcast. And to the far left, we have the main man, Deli.
Mr. Deli Man?
And then in the middle,
Who?
who we got?
Introduce yourself.
Gallo.
I was gonna actually jump off of that, but I expected your son to give you a nice, a nice intro, a hype intro.
Nah,
if that was my dad, I would have like, this is the best boxer in the world. That's crazy.
I'm good. Jose Antonio Rivera.
El Gallo, yeah. Nickname El Gallo. Where does that come from?
When I was a kid, I lived in Puerto Rico at the time, and my uncle used to raise, the cockfighting roosters, and I was really intrigued by it and stuff. And me, my brother, my cousins, we used to train the roosters, raise them, and I got to learn the whole gamut. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, I was listening to what was it? What was I listening to? Was it a podcast? I think it was a podcast. They have to fight till they die.
That's the key about it.
Right? I just found out that today.
Yeah, that's what
They fight to the death, right? But here's the other component also is if you have a really, really good rooster and you know that this rooster's worth a lot of money and he's losing and you don't want him to die because you're going to use him to raise future champions, stuff like that, then that trainer will throw in the towel.
I was going to say, can you throw in the towel?
Sure, you can do that. You don't have to let him die. But this is where the name came from. Is we had this rooster. It was like my favorite rooster, and they put him in to fight, and he was just like taking it. He was taking it, yeah. And he was just about to like he kind of went down. They're in a position where they kind of like they go down, and they just all down like ready to go down.
Is that like giving a knee?
And almost, but not really because there's no referee or nothing, right? And the other rooster kind of just all cocky walked up to him to give him one last blow.
That's great.
And my rooster just got up. I had one life left in him. Got up, boom, right in the neck. The rooster's folding. He's dead. He's gone. I'm mad. I was like,
yeah, that's crazy. Did you know that?
I knew that he got it from the family. Like, he grew up with the
But did you know that they fight to death?
Yeah.
I literally just found that out today.
That. He used to tell the referees before
every fight, when the referees come into the corner to talk to you and, give you their rules and instructions, make sure you follow.
I want to go to one.
I tell them, I say, listen, I says, I train really hard for this fight. I says, no matter how bad it looks out there, I'm in great shape. I says, don't ever stop the fight. I said if I get knocked down and knocked out and you count to 10, then that is it. But I said if I get up, don't stop the fight.
This is you.
Yeah, I used to think my dad was insane. I used to sit there and watch him before the fights. Every referee pull him aside, the same spiel. If you're getting knocked down and you count to 10, do your job.
Where does that come from?
But if I get up
to the death.
That's crazy.
To the death, I mean, if you put in the work and you're ready. You know what you can take. Another punishment. Don't really hurt you and stuff like that.
Being in a big stage, as you know, do you go in there thinking you're the best like every time?
You have to.
I know that's what they say. You have to, but like say you're fighting like what's a fight that you think somebody's like?
All right, in my opinion, and he could tell me if I'm wrong or not. If I know I'm not necessarily the best skill-wise, I know I'm in the better shape, which can still carry my confidence and carry. So, especially in the amateurs, at my time period growing up, there was a lot of bad motherfuckers. And in sparring, I used to spar better guys than I would fight.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have nothing to lose attitude. I know the kid's better than me. I know he has more experience.
Which that's dangerous if you have the attitude, nothing to lose.
Yeah. So... And sometimes those were some of my best sparring matches when I was just like, fuck it. And just knowing, you can go. Like, okay, you might be better than me. You might have more skill than me. But are you prepared to just nonstop throw for these 3 rounds? and the amateurs is 3 rounds. For him, it's 12 rounds.
12 rounds. So they got to keep that up. They got to be better than you for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
That's
that mindset.
Got to have that mindset.
The biggest example I remember growing up, obviously watching all those fights, but the one that always sticks out to me is the Frankie Randall fight. He's the first person to beat Julio Cesar Chavez, and my dad fought him. And I would say, like, the first 7 or 8 rounds, like 7 or 8 out of the 10 were, like, his.
No. I got, like, the first few rounds, and then he got, like, the middle rounds, and then I just
And then in the 10th round, he came out like it was the first round, and he made him quit. Like, he hurt him, but he just outworked him to the point where, like, when he dropped him, Frankie just spit out his mouthpiece and laid on his back, and that was it.
Having AJ's the oldest, right?
Yes.
Having your son, you know, and you being a boxer, is that something you wanted for him? Or
No.
is that,
I knew the struggle. I knew the work ethic. I knew.
you knew he couldn't fight?
No. I just didn't want that for my kid, you know. I actually got him involved in other sports. He played football. He played basketball. I even tried first sport that he ever tried. He said, "Nah, it's not for me, Dad. It's soccer." First game of soccer. He goes, "Yeah, I don't like this." I said, "All right, no problem."
Meanwhile, my sister became a superstar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
she's a beast.
It just depends on the child, you know.
Soccer was.
And then finally, when he was right beginning of freshman year, a little before that, but he says, "Dad, I want to box." I'm like, "Sure," you know. I'm not gonna talk him out of it, but I'm not gonna promote it. You know, if it comes from them, I'll help them because I want to guide them in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then I get to see where they're at, that, you know, for myself, you know. And he was really, he was really hard-headed, man. He was, I mean, to train your kid is really much harder than train somebody else.
I feel like that's hard because it's like you have to be the trainer and a dad at the same time.
Yeah.
So how do you separate that?
And you have to separate that in the gym. You know, you can't think about him as
your son?
No, you can't. You got to look at him as a person who wants to become a champion or a fighter or whatever he wants to become. Yeah. You feed off of that. And he had high expectations, but I didn't see the work ethic to match it. So it says, you know what? You graduated high school. Let's just focus on college. You have these things you want to do with your promotions and stuff. Let's focus on that.
What's I'm gonna take your age. What's the best quality AJ has?
I think the best quality he has, I think he's a kind-hearted person, but I think the best quality he has is that he's always trying to shoot to be successful. You know, it's like it's not, you know, I won't say it's, I admire that about him, that he's always trying to, you know, becomes, you know, he achieved something. He graduated. I never graduated college, so he's the oldest. He graduated college, and then now he shoot out to the next thing. He became an associate court officer. Then he became a court officer. You know, like, and then he's had to go through some struggles. Now he's gonna be able to be closer to home, and then we do the promotion thing. I'll be honest with you, and I'm not being biased and stuff because he's my son, but I've worked with a lot of people and I've seen a lot of fights and stuff, and like he has a niche for this matchmaking business, putting great fights together, and people look at it, oh, you know, that guy is 10-12, and that guy is 15-0. That guy's gonna destroy him, and they fight to like a draw. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that makes fights exciting in the fan base wants to come keep seeing those type of fights. And after a while, they don't pay attention to the records as long as the fights keep, you know.
You guys just see that huge upset with the old man, the abuelo? The one that fought, it was a controversial decision with Rolly.
Oh, he won.
He just knocked out.
Yeah, first round.
First round.
Yeah, first round. Yeah.
He just knocked out.
And he called out Rolly.
Yeah, he called out Rolly again.
And I think he beat Rolly the first time.
Yeah, I think he beat Rolly too. So yeah, it's definitely there's definitely an art behind that. There's understanding styles make fight. I've been watching boxing since. I mean, I never witnessed an amateur fight until I fought amateur.
Yeah.
I've only by the time
There's a big difference. Huh?
it's a huge difference. Absolutely. But growing up, I mean, I saw Bobby Harris and Rashad Minor and Sean Fitzgerald and my dad and my family. you know, they're still huge boxing fans, but back then I think they were bigger boxing fans
Yeah.
because we used to get together at my Tita Maria's house religiously, or my Theo Angel's house religiously, and the Bernard Hopkins, Tito Trinidad fight, and when Roy Jones Jr. would fight, and De La Hoya would fight. Like, these are all the fights. While all the kids were playing around and stuff, I was right there watching the fights with them. I remember when Rockman and Holyfield fought, and Holyfield had, Rockman had the huge knot on his forehead from a headbutt. So I feel like, that's something that, for whatever reason, when I put something, I see.
Yeah, he just, he got to see, he saw it, and saw what it takes. I think it helped him also that he got to experience the amateurs, and he got to experience different styles and different fighters, and he got to saw, okay,
I hated it.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful, but we got to take it to the worst quality AJ has. What do you think that is?
Hard-headed.
He's still hard. Hasn't changed.
Yeah, nah,
Hasn't changed.
He's 30 years old. And he's still hard-headed. Like sometimes this kid has always got to learn the hard way. So, I've been giving him advice since he was in diapers and stuff. And for the most part, he knows that I'm gonna try to, not steer him in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But sometimes he has to do it.
You got to learn. Sometimes you got to learn yourself.
So you let him.
Yeah.
Let him learn and let him figure it out. And I think sometimes that helps.
Yeah,
I was the same way, so I can't knock it.
I feel like that's what I'm good at as being a father. Like I tried telling my daughter don't do this. There's so much I could tell you don't do this. I'm like, hey, okay, I told you, a couple of times, go find out yourself. And then once she finds out, Daddy, this happened. I was like, what did I say from the beginning? Let's rewind what I said. Didn't I tell you? And she's like, yeah, you told me. So I'm like,
that commercial. Let's look at the playbook.
It must
bring it back.
It must run in the family because my son is turning 3 in February, and this kid is, I tell him something till I'm blue in the face, and then don't do this. Get down. Boom, falls on his face. I told you, don't climb the couch.
you got he's the oldest, 30, and then you got
I got Soleimani. She's 17, gonna be 18 in February.
and then the youngest.
And then I got Camilo, who's 14, be 15 in August, and then my youngest is 6 years old.
That's a big age gap. What's been the hardest thing of
No, you know what? It's really hasn't been that hard. Like with AJ, man, some of my best, times was, just us two together, because me and his mom separated when he was about in kindergarten, 5, 6, and he lived with me and on my training days because we used to have the 50-50 custody. Bring his homework to the gym, do his homework. Then I had the Sega and Genesis stuff set up for him there. Then he come watch some of the training, and then we go eat. So we had a good little system going. Then on the weekends, bring him with me to the gym, or either my sister watch him, I go do my stuff, come back, and then spend the night, have fun.
Do you say the firstborn has to go through more with you?
Well, I think every child experience different part of me because I was only 20 years old when he was born.
That's young. Wow,
so,
that's young.
So we had to learn together.
Just turned 20.
You know what I'm saying? So, that to me was like my 6-year-old is getting a different version of me than he got. I was.
What's that
I was
version?
on a journey.
What's the version the
what I'm
6-year-old is getting now?
She's getting I would say a well-rounded father who kind of like I'm a girl dad, and now I'm becoming a dance dad because she's a little dancer, and reminds me of my oldest daughter who was a little dancer back in the days too, so kind of bring back memory, and it just you love them, you protect them, you guide them and stuff, and give them a little bit of freedom. I think I was more stricter with him than with the other ones because you're your first child, you kind of want to overprotect them, too much, make sure nothing happens.
How about with the grandchild?
Oh man,
How strict is he?
Nah, with the grandchild it's different because, like I said, what they always say, you play with them, you have fun with them, and then here you go. And that's to the point. I just took him for the first time. He got to experience Chuck E. Cheese. That kid was like,
You liked it?
oh my god,
Chuck E. Cheese is boring. Maybe because I'm older. I took my daughter.
He's 2.
No, but my daughter didn't really like it either.
How old is she?
3.
3, okay.
So-
No, he loved it, but I think it helps him because he was with my daughter, his aunt.
Oh, so okay.
Them two got to
Oh,
play.
yeah, they grew up. They're gonna grow. Yeah, that's gonna be.
Oh yeah,
them
she
two are like
my,
this,
my
man.
little sister, the baby one, she like formed that bond with my son very early because like I was actually, you know how like memories pop up on your phone and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking at memories and like she was like rubbing like my son's mom's belly, like she would just cuddle with the belly like randomly, like she'd be chilling on the couch and she'd just be rubbing the belly and.
Remember, they hear the voices.
Yeah,
They
you know,
hear
so
everything.
like, oh yeah, Manji was like super, like that was like one thing, like this is my nephew. But I remember when he was first born, I first started bringing him around. Like she would let everybody know, this is my nephew. This is my nephew. One time
She takes that serious.
She went up to my mom one
Yeah.
time. She was at my son was at my grandmother's house and my mom was there. She went up to my mom and was like, "That's my nephew." My mom's like, "Yeah, that's my grandson."
Just heads up.
Just so you know, Grandma, that's my nephew.
She's like, she was all about it. So yeah, he adores her. Every time he'll call, "Hi, Grampy, where's Manji?"
When he calls me or with FaceTime right away is, "Hi, Grampy, where's Manji?"
Now let's get to business. Yeah,
Yeah,
with
get
my
your business. Give me my aunt.
This is what I called.
Yeah.
We started off and you named Puerto Rico. You said Puerto Rico. So what does Puerto Rico mean to you, man?
And like I tell you, when you're young, you take Puerto Rico for granted, you know, because you know you don't really understand the culture, you know, and the family history and everything there. But today, you know, I'm 50 now, and I tell you, man, I love Puerto Rico. I mean, every year, my wife and I go there 3 times a year,
Wow.
and it's just like I'm starting to get to the point now, like. When it's
Don't
time
tell
to
me
come
you're
back
moving.
home. No, we're gonna be moving there for retirement. But
Yeah?
I can't do it now because I still got about 9.5 years.
But it's a plan when.
Oh no, definitely. When I retire, we're gonna buy a house and move out there and stuff like that. Definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, I just like the island is. It's almost like home. You know, it's this beautiful island. So much to do and just the culture there.
Is that where you were born?
No, actually, I was.
I seen it was Philly. Right?
I was made in Puerto Rico.
You were made in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I was made in Puerto Rico. My mom was about 8 months pregnant when she left.
Was she living there or vacation?
No, she was living.
She was living
No,
there.
With her and my dad, but my dad had moved to Philadelphia with a family over there,
Mm-hmm.
and then sent for her when he was house situated.
Yep.
And because at the time she was there with my brothers and sisters, pregnant with me, and then before I was born, he sent for her, and I was born in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philly.
Yep. Yep.
Does Philly hold a special part or not
I
really?
mean, I still got family there,
Yeah.
and you know, brotherly love, not but love for Philly. But I wasn't really. I lived there till moved out of Philly when I was about 3 years old, 2.5, 3 years old.
So would you consider Worcester home?
I moved to Worcester when I was 16, and I've been here since I'm 50. So
I know your brother said Worcester's home.
Yeah, I consider Worcester home, definitely.
So what? It went Philly, Florida.
Oh, man,
you went to
don't-
Florida
don't
too?
Don't even mention.
Hey, you don't remember my uncle was saying they?
No, but I remember that.
It was Philly. Then was it? Then
No,
was Florida.
no, it was. We moved a lot.
Yeah, he said that,
My
yeah.
mom, she moved a lot. You know, it was Philly, it was Massachusetts, and then it was different parts of Massachusetts. So you had Westfield, and then you had Holyoke.
Westfield's nice.
Yeah, and then you had Holyoke, and we lived in Holyoke for a little while. And from there we went to Florida. No, first we went to New Mexico, then California, then came back, then went to Florida, then to Puerto Rico.
Okay, so I'm
then
guessing you were
back.
the new kid a lot.
Huh?
You were the new kid at school.
Yeah, I was a lot. How about this? Every year of my high school year, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and this is me now on my own because my mom's already passed away.
Yeah.
I was in a different high school. Damn. Yeah, and I graduated at my senior year from South High here in Worcester.
That's tough.
Yeah. And you know what? Like I said, for me it was acceptable because I didn't really like school too much. You know, I just went there to do my thing. And
Yeah.
the only reason I graduated was because I made a promise to my mom that I was going to graduate high school. And I didn't really see as a young, ignorant kid, I didn't see the benefits of it. I just wanted to graduate. Obviously, today, I know.
Would you change that today?
What?
If you could go back, would you like say
Be
go to
more-
college or
No,
like,
absolutely. I'll put more emphasis on my education. Like I said, I was just more hungry for the boxing thing, and that's why I moved to Worcester for that I did everything just more for the boxing. And I think one of the things that Boys and Girls Club did when I signed up is they would make sure I was in school. I was doing good in school. So that was part of, same thing with Carlos Garcia, my trainer. That was part of everything. It's like, I had to make sure that I was doing good in school. So I did enough to get by.
Yeah.
So I can go do my training and stuff like that.
Damn, that's tough. I feel like, because it seemed like, you were pretty successful. And then you still here saying, I would go, and go to college. Because I feel like a lot of people would be like, nah, like I wouldn't go back. I did. It's a better route.
I think one thing.
It's just tough.
You know how you asked about like my best qualities and worst qualities. I would say like one of his best qualities is one of his best qualities is always wanting to test himself. Like the guy, like I mean, at this point in time, if I'm him, just because I have seen the work ethic and the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears. If I'm him at this age, I just want to fucking chill. I would tell my siblings, leave me alone. I would tell myself, like, leave me alone, like, put my feet up and chill. Like, but, I mean, going from the only world champion ever to hold a full-time job while holding a major world championship, 2-division world champion, court officer, to assistant chief, to, he was doing this thing with Usana for a while, and then eventually running, district city councilor. So it's like a constant test. So I feel like with him, it'd be like, damn, I wish I could have tested myself in that aspect of it, like in school, like college.
See how far
I could have gone with something else, That's just who he is. Like the guy's never gonna chill.
It's never too late, right? Isn't that what they say?
Button doesn't go off
about school though.
No, I definitely, for me, believe it or not, I was even considering going to school, like, again, soon and stuff like that, just...
For what?
Just for, I'm in the criminal justice field, so for me, it would only make sense. But then I'm also, I'm into it for some reason. It's like, people think that I just caught the bug or something like that, but I've always been into politics. And just as a young kid, and I knew that I was going to run for city council. So, I could go to school for, political science. Just... There's so many avenues that I can take with it that I'm still decided, but definitely that's something that I'm thinking of doing. I was going to school at this age, and whether it's an associate or bachelor's, and I'm doing it because I want to. Good. I don't have to. I'm already established at my job, and there's nothing there.
One of my freshmen, there was 4 of us, so we had a 2-bedroom dorm. Yeah, 2 people in each one. And one of them was like mid-30s. Mid-30s.
When I was in school, I was with an older lady. I think she was like in her 60s, 70s. Yeah. She was still there. I'm like, can't knock that, if you want to be better, I can't knock that off, You
can't.
So, district, running for district.
Yeah, I ran for District 5 City Council.
How was that? How was that whole journey?
Oh, it was an incredible experience. Incredible. Actually, the experience that I went through was much better than I anticipated. It was just... a lot of growth as a person. I mean, to this day, I could tell you that experience helped me become a better person and a better man. And I'm just looking forward to, 2025 to try it again,
I was about to say, that's my final question. You going again?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. I think, and I got close. We lost by 168 votes, and, I was able to, stick with my platform and still same platform to this day. And we'll see what happens. I mean, things can change, but as of right now, that's the direction that I'm looking forward to, and we'll see what happens.
How hard was it, taking that loss?
No. So I put everything in God's hands.
Yep.
Right. So if it's His will, then it is good, regardless of the outcome. And so I had to, for me is I knew what I was up against. I'm running against an incumbent who's very well established. I know who does, good. She's a good politician, and she won. So
100%.
So
but
it was nothing.
But at the end of the day, we're humans.
No, I get
we're
it.
Humans, so we're gonna, after taking a loss, like if it was me in my case, it's gonna sting a little.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I can't hang my head because I gave everything I had. Like. Got up early in the morning before going to work. And
was everything like new? like doing everything? Like I know you were going door to door.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That experience was, I mean, that was my favorite part of the whole.
Yeah?
Oh my goodness, the door, just the meeting the people. There was some people that I got to speak with, who right up front told me, oh, they know who I am, and they're glad that I'm running. Thank you for coming to my door, and they were like, but I'm part of her team, like, or not our team, but I'm
No,
with
no,
her.
that's her, yeah.
But I really thank you. Like, they were kept thanking me for coming and appreciate it. I'm like, it's okay, man. I understand that she's gonna have her people. They were cool. So I would say out of the whole times, and I knocked on thousands of doors, that I could probably count in a hand, unless that somebody was rude, or just shut the door or whatever.
Yeah, but you're gonna have that.
No, of course.
Yeah,
Like I said, it was nothing that was like, oh.
I did door-to-door sales. I wasn't even doing politics. I did door-to-door sales one time, and this dude looked at me and said, "You see that sign?" And I looked at it and said, "Beware a dog." He goes, "Get the fuck off my property. He's coming out." Damn.
You're like, what kind of dog?
I'm just like, I'm just working for Verizon, my
no,
guy.
it's-
Like,
yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
but
see if your
yeah.
fiber optics is working.
Yeah, man. Some people just get annoyed by
Yeah,
it.
like I
it's
said.
like-
And there's another thing going on a lot that hurts politicians in today's day and age. Is there's a lot of guys who are just trying to grind and sell solar panels for the roofs.
yeah.
And so when you go to the house, they're already in their mindset, already thinking they're trying to sell something. What are you selling? What do you want? Stuff like that. And so I said, no, I'm a candidate. I'm so and so. Oh, sorry. I thought no, I get it a lot. I understand. So that those are the in today's day and age is different than it was back in the days. Even when I was helping other politicians run, it was a much more welcoming. Today's day and age, people are more careful because there's a lot of dangerous stuff going out there. That's why I had to cut off in the summertime. I could go up to 8 o'clock at night, and then once it started getting close to the election, it gets darker. Earlier. Then now I get out of work. I'm home by 5 or 5:30. I don't have that 2.5 hour or 3 hour window. So I just try to make the best of it.
Were you nervous election day?
No, I mean, I was excited. Like I said, of the results, just like, to me, is as long as I put the work ahead of time, similar to my fights, you know what I'm saying? I tried to, the night of the competition, election or fight, I knew that I did all my work in the gym or for the election, prepared, and whatever the results are, then it is what it is. Once you have that, like for me, it could be calm because, like I said, once I put it in God's hands, the results is easier to swallow and take.
I know when it came to like boxing and in life, we have discussed this. You're kind of like a humble person, So, would you say there'll be a time when you wish you wasn't so humble, or is that just something?
I think there was a time when I wasn't so humble, and I don't think I was fun to be around, And
When was that?
And I would say when in my younger days,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. I just think that once I got on my knees and just asked for help because I was just going in the wrong direction, my whole life changed, and I just felt like I didn't want to be that asshole anymore, It's just I hated the world. When my mom passed away,
That's tough.
I just hated everybody. I hated the world, and I just got in trouble on a daily basis in school, because I wanted to fight or tell the teachers, But, luckily for me, it happened at a young age, and and I didn't do anything.
How old were you
When
your mom passed away?
I was 10 when she passed away.
That's young.
And then I was pretty much on the streets doing stupid shit till I was about 15 years old. And that's when I walked in the gym.
Where was this? I know you said you moved a lot. So
I was in Springfield at the time. I was in Springfield. I was living with my aunt.
Well, no, not when you were 15.
Yeah, when I was 15.
I'm talking about, he's asking before that when you were doing all the stupid shit from
I was
10
in both,
to
to be
15.
honest.
Yeah, I was.
Because mostly weren't you in Puerto Rico? Because
I
Dia
was
had
in-
to
I
go
was
and
in
get
Puerto-
you from PR.
I was in Puerto Rico. No, I was in Puerto Rico when my mom passed away. And then finally, my family sent for the kids. My grandfather sent plane tickets for my dad to send us.
Yeah.
And so we can funeral and stuff like that. But my dad didn't send us, so we didn't even get to say goodbye, but finally they kept letting them know, we want the kids with us, and my dad finally agreed, and he sent all 4 of us.
Is that grandpa that you talk about always?
No. The grandfather I talk about is my mom.
Mom's okay. I just
Yeah.
So this is my mom's father.
Yeah. Okay.
And
He would be my great grandfather.
yeah, and he sent for us, and then when we got back home, between my mom's brothers and sisters, they decided so and so is gonna live with you, and so is gonna live with you. So believe it or not, the first place that I lived was in Worcester, and I lived with my uncle in Worcester, and I lasted here months, not maybe 3-4 months, and then I went to live in Holyoke with my other uncle and my aunt, and then I went to live with another uncle in Holyoke, and then eventually my aunt in Springfield, and then I stayed with her till I was 16, and I just moved out on my own in Worcester.
Does the pain of losing your mom ever get easier?
It get easier as you get older. Yeah, absolutely. You never thought it was gonna get easier. A lot of years.
No, yeah.
I mean, you're 10. I say, believe it or not, by the time I was 16, moved to Worcester, I was better. So because I knew that ship sailed. So
Yeah.
I was more accepting. Okay, time to move on. Signed myself up to school, got a job, signed myself up at the Boys and Girls Club, got a roommate, and just went at it.
Yeah, that's crazy when you think about it. Like nowadays. That's like the old times, Because imagine that now at 16. We were just talking about generation is different.
Yeah,
It's different, 100%.
So I can't.
Would you say, so a lot of people like adversities make or break you. Would you say that adversities made you?
absolutely, because it would be the adversity, but also would be my response to it. Because a lot of times that adversity can also break you. So adversity is your opportunity for you to see who you are. And I just had that hunger, that I just wanted to make it. That every time adversity came, I always try to teach him that is look at the brighter side of it. Let's look at what can we make the best out of that situation, because in life we're always gonna get banged up. I mean, nobody's getting the easy ride. I mean, most people are not getting the easy ride. So you gotta find the bright spot at it and work towards that. If you stay on the situation that got you all bent out of shape or depressed,
Perspective.
then,
That's what it is.
Then you're gonna be there for a while. And then listen, it gets better. I mean, when you think that that's the end of the world, you can't overcome that. Tomorrow it gets better, and then tomorrow it gets better.
One day at a time.
One day at a time.
So talk a little bit about the chaos from 10 to 15 before Thea went and got you in PR and you begged her to take you back.
Well, I was, remember, between that age, I was with family. At the time that I was living with my aunt. It was my aunt who sent me to Puerto Rico that I was living with. Because
you were acting up.
Because I was acting up.
Oh, because you were acting. Oh,
So,
okay.
I mean, I could tell you, I skipped school for like 30 days one time. Straight.
Crazy.
And back then, they didn't call you. Hey, your son, we didn't get the automated messages.
What you got?
Nothing. Finally, after 30 days, you sent a letter home and she's like,
We haven't seen your
yeah,
shit.
see, man, everything okay? So I got home one time with, I just came with my friends and stuff, and she was sitting down looking at me like, man.
You knew.
She found out something because the look she had, and I just went straight to my room. But I got punished and stuff, and then the first time she found out that I was experimenting with drugs and stuff, she says, all right, I got suspended from school. I was going to fight. And so she shipped me off to Puerto Rico. And when I was in Puerto Rico, I quit school. And I was working in the agriculture field with my uncles and stuff. And one day, my cousin sister, who my aunt's daughter, was visiting her dad. Her dad happened to be friends with my dad growing up. So they lived close to each other. So when my cousin went to go visit her dad, she came out and said, let me go see how my cousin's doing. And she saw that I was doing worse there than I was when I was living with them. I quit school. I was out dirty. I was in out, we call it la finca.
La finca,
farm,
yeah.
And but I had some good times there. It's like I just wasn't in school, and I already knew that if I stayed there, my future would have been. Every person that I worked there had no high school education, so I already saw that's gonna be my future right there. So if I don't change things, so when I saw my cousin, and I told her the situation, she was like, man. She came back home. She told her mom, listen, they're not doing too good over there. My sister Anna was over with me too in Puerto Rico at the time. So my aunt came not too long afterwards to come, and that's when I sat down with her and I talked to her, and I begged her to give me one more shot. I said, give me another shot.
This is the same aunt?
Same aunt. I said, this is my mom's sister.
Yeah.
And she said, what's going to be different now? I says, because now I believe in myself. I believe that I can do it. And now this is the first time that anything positive come out of my mouth since my mom died when I was 10 years old. And she was like, she loved me enough. She had a soft spot for me to give me that chance. And that was it. Once she brought
Sometimes
me back,
that's all it takes.
yeah. So what I'm saying is like I broke that woman down. I put her through so much, man. She was amazing. Nothing but love for my aunt. She
Not alive no more?
Huh?
Is she still alive?
Yeah, she's still alive. Yeah, actually, when I just went to Puerto Rico with my wife, it was a couple weeks ago, and so I went to go see her and stuff like that. 'Cause she's out there now. And yeah,
How long Tiago was living in Springfield? She moved to Puerto Rico, what, 3 years ago?
It's just about 3 years ago. Yeah.
It seems like there was a moment when you were like, how do I put this? Like there was a kind of like a change, a shift in your life. Was there a time when you were like, yeah, like a moment when you were like, God is real? Like,
Well, here is how it all happened. Is I was in the finca, in the farm, working, and I don't know what it was that day, why that day, but I just got on my knees and I asked God for another chance because I knew that I just came to realize. Remember, I'm 14 at the time, and I came to realize that all the situation that happened wasn't because my mom died; it was because of my behavior. You know what I'm saying? So I cursed God out. I blame God for my mom dying. It's like everything happened. How he let that happen. I was young. I was stupid. And after I got up, and then I went to work, came home that day. The next day, my cousin that's when she came to see me. And then after I talked to her, the following week or so, my aunt came. You know what I'm saying? And then when I talked to my aunt, and I had not put nothing together, I just having a conversation with them. And she brought me back. I was like, I'm gonna make the best of this, this opportunity. And I missed half of the school year. So when she signed me up back to school, she says, we're meeting with the principal and stuff, and she said, what does he need to do to be able to pass? And it says he's got to make up all the work, all the quizzes, tests, everything, and then at the end of the school year, plus keep up with the rest of the year. And at the end of the school year, we're going to test him. And then if he does good, then we'll let him go to the next grade. And that right there was the first time I had a goal since my mom passed away. And it wasn't boxing, because I wasn't even boxing then. It was go to school, after school program, tutoring, school, after school, tutoring. And at the end of the year, they tested me and I passed. Man, that's when that mindset that I had, if you believe in yourself, work hard, and never give up, you can accomplish it, And that's the mindset that I used in my boxing career, to help me become a world champion,
That's a great mindset.
Yeah.
That reminded me of Coach Carter when what's his name? Cruz.
Yeah.
He's like, what do I have to do to get back in the
Yeah,
team?
oh, yeah.
1,000 suicides, 500.
He got close, but I was like, yeah, that's what do I have to do to get back in school?
So with the obviously I know you guys all have a very close relationship, the siblings and stuff like that. How difficult was that being separated?
That was hard, because, I I didn't get to see two of my sisters and their brother maybe twice a month. Every other weekend.
Were you guys close before that?
Yeah,
it's tough.
absolutely, yeah. And then my oldest brother was in Puerto Rico, so I didn't get to see him at all, unless when I got shipped out over there. Then we were together over there. Then when he brought me back, then he eventually moved back over here when he was an adult, on his own. So as an adult, we got to get back together, all five of us, and all in Worcester.
That's beautiful. That,
Yeah.
That could happen again.
Yeah, yep.
I got a question actually. Interesting one. I want to hear you guys' perspective on this. The do's and don't of a step parent.
So I'm gonna answer this question because I was like a step nephew to my aunt's husband, right?
And you're technically a stepdad.
And I'm a stepdad now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it, because I have both sides of it. And also I was a stepson to my youngest brother is he's deaf, but his dad is my stepdad, and he and my mom, were together till my brother was about 5 years old. And so he raised us for that long, but he was like great towards us.
Okay.
And then, but growing up with today we have obviously we're adults, so we have a good relationship, but when I was, that guy, he hated me. He hated me, and I'll tell him to his face. So he just didn't, I don't know if he was jealous of my relationship with my aunt or the boundaries that she put on him on being part of it, And then as the way I do it, to answer the question, do's and don'ts, is for me is, I met my stepson when he was 14 years old. He's 20 now, he'll be 21 this year, and I'll tell you, this young man has never given me no problems. Never disrespected his mom, his little sister, or even his step siblings. Like the kid is a really good kid, quiet kid. But the way I approached the whole situation was, I'm not gonna treat him how my aunt's boyfriend treated me. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a tough age too, because at 14, that's when you're like the rebel, you know everything.
Right.
I would say because I'm a stepchild of multiple people. I would say just not trying to do too much, so knowing like what's too much, but also not black sheeping the kid. Like, okay, it may, depending on how many years in, maybe some discipline can be in there, but obviously you're not gonna be hitting a kid that's not yours and shit like that. But I'm saying, like, you don't really treat them any different than you would treat your own kid. You don't make him feel or her feel like the black sheep of the family. Right. Just at the same time, you also have to know, like, even though it is not your kid, so there are also certain boundaries that you don't want to cross.
There you go. For me, it was easier also because his dad is part of his life, and they have a great relationship. I admired their relationship, So, and like I told you, there's been no issue, nothing but love. But for me, the way I looked at it is just gonna treat him like my own. Always want him to feel like he's welcome. Any conversation you want to have, any questions, any issues, just he's my kid.
I feel like I feel like you as like a step parent, like being a step parent, as anybody out there, I feel like you guys got to be patient.
Definitely.
Because me, I have a stepdad, and I was a little asshole. Like I was like, yo, I hate you. I don't want you in my life.
I think
so you gotta be patient.
No, exactly. So I could think
the
that
patience also comes with the age, because I feel like, for example,
I was 8.
You
no, but him.
But like, but in general, what I'm saying is, like, if I'm a step parent, right? If I get this kid at 3, right, I'm not gonna go through the troubling pains or like the awkward stage. Like if you were meeting a kid that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, you're talking. You know who your dad is. You know I'm not your dad. But if I've been in your life since you were 3 years old, chances are you're calling me dad by the time you're 8 or 9.
If the dad's not, if
the dad's not around, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it also depends on the age.
Well, no, sometimes you got those kids too that call it dad and dad. You know. Yeah, I've seen that before.
That's true.
Yeah, I thought one of my uncles was like legitimately one of my uncles my whole life because my cousin called him dad, and I didn't realize that that wasn't her real dad.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't realize until I got older that. How long did you end up being married to Jose?
Long time.
So before I was born, we got together before I was born. But my cousin grew up calling him dad, so I just always thought that was her dad. It wasn't until I got older that I realized, oh, she has a stepdad. She has a completely different last name too. That never like rang a bell to me either.
It's funny. Yeah, it's just I feel like as you get older, like you said, now you have a great relationship.
No issue. Like
no, you with was it your uncle?
Well, I wouldn't call it a great relationship. It's a
I wouldn't. A better relationship.
They could fool me though because I would feel like from my personal experience because we used to growing up I would say at least I was with him at least every other week.
Yeah.
Well, Tuesday, Thursday, every other week.
We were down there all our weekends pretty much. Or mostly all our weekends. We were there at least.
Where?
In Springfield, visiting Springfield.
Springfield,
whether it was Angie, me, Ramona, whatever. So the uncle he's talking about, like I never caught a bad vibe.
So he never see what I'm saying? How he did that? Because he didn't get to hear none of the stories of me growing up. Because by the time I moved out on my own 16 and then grew up here and stuff like that, became an adult and stuff like that, I didn't carry none of that. You know what I'm saying? For me to be able to ask God to forgive me, then how am I to not forgive somebody else? You know what I'm saying?
He truly means that from the bottom of his heart because even his dad, like I feel like everything he's gone through with his own dad, he has every reason in the world to carry animosity and hate towards somebody. And growing up, it wasn't obvious until I got older. Obviously, my dad had like talks with me for my age, like you get this talk and then you get
at this age.
It wasn't until I was older that I heard all these like bad stories.
That's tough too, though.
But I would never have guessed it because when I saw the guy, he was always great to me.
Yeah. And that's another thing, it's like, remember I told you earlier that parents, sometimes you have kids at different ages of yourself, they get a different version of you.
100%.
And I will be honest with you and say that my dad, my biological dad, and a younger, in his 20s and 30s, was not a very good person. I'm saying good father or a good responsible husband. You know what I'm saying? It's about drinking and women and abuse and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what's crazy too about that though? It's like you don't realize how hard life is until you're older too.
Right.
When you're a kid, you blame, but it's like life could beat you up so bad, man. That.
And I think it definitely humbles you as you get older.
And real quick, and my biological dad met his wife, who I got 3 sisters and a brother in Puerto Rico. Well, now one of them is in Texas, 2 of them in Florida, one of them in Puerto Rico. Yeah. But they're all over there, raised over there, married. My dad married.
Damn, they all moved over?
Yeah, they've been moving. And then they all, grew up over there together and stuff like that. And he became, they got the good version. He was already older, more mature, learned from hopefully learned from all his, past, and was a better husband to her and was a father to my brothers and sisters. So I was happy that they got that version.
That's good though. That's good.
So they have a better memory of my dad, than I did.
That's tough.
But and I got a good relationship with my brothers and sisters to this day. I visit them in Florida. My brother, when I went to Puerto Rico, we had dinner, and my other sister, she moved out to Texas recently, so I haven't seen her in a little bit. But.
Yeah. I always talk about my dad not being there, but my stepdad for my birthday this year, he texted me. He's like, "Happy birthday, son," and I was like, "All right." I was like, "Thank you, Dad."
It felt good. It felt good.
It felt good. I was like, it's like I never had this. I was like,
he kept trying, no matter how much of an asshole
that's another thing, and he's good. He's like a good person.
I felt welcomed that one time.
He's love. Yeah,
one time I went to that family party with you.
I'm big in energy, so that energy, he like or you meet him, he'll be like,
Yeah,
you want a beer? You know, that's the type of person he is. He's a good person. So now that I'm older, that's what I'm getting at.
Gave
I
you some
see
good
it.
siblings, you know.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes. Yeah. If you could give me a life advice, what would that advice be?
The best advice I can give anybody, you know, and I understand that not everybody's open to this, but it's got to start with God. You know, everything starts with God. That's for me everything. You know what I mean? It starts with our Creator, and once you put your life and your trust in God, everything flows. The directions, the doors. Well, you could be going for something that you want so much and fighting for that, fighting for that, and you may not accomplish that at the end, but during the process, he had opened up all these doors for you that's going to change your life in a better direction that you even anticipated. So there's so many things that can happen in life and so many things that do happen in life. And the first thing that people want to do is blame God or why God wasn't there. But never, not once, they would wake up and say, "Thank you, God, for this day," you know, or nothing. It's like they never take the time to thank God for things or pray to God or have a relationship with Him. But He's the first one to blame when something goes wrong. And I know because I did it from experience.
Yes,
I know I was young and I was a kid, but I've experienced that. You know?
Well, another thing is, they finally want something, you know, or talk to him when they need something, you know.
Always, yeah.
It's like when something's bad, God, please, this is the last. I'm like,
and my thing is, you know, it starts there, but then, you know, as life can go in so many directions. For me, is I always try to have a positive mindset, because life can be really negative if you allow it to be. Because life out there is beautiful, but it can be really negative. It could be ugly as well. But I want to stay in the beautiful aspect of it. So no matter how many bad things happen, I'm going to find the bright part of it to hang on to that and move in that direction. And then that's where my mindset, like I said, comes first is believe in yourself, work hard, and never give up. And if you keep working towards that in anything, not have to be in sports or in anything, you're going to accomplish whatever it is you set out to do. You know, but you got to have that positive mindset and can't give up. People have, to me, today's generation, that give up mentality is too easy. You know, it's like they just, you know, I see it time and time again. I talk to kids who come to the courts, you know, and before, when I was working in Worcester, before I got promoted to a Dudley, I used to see some kids come. Do you remember me? You spoke to me at my school. And I'm like, you weren't listening to me, right? And then right away they put their head down.
you're here for a reason,
You
huh?
know, yeah, I didn't follow that guidance that, you know, you was trying to tell us. Stay in school, work hard, you know, believe in yourself, never give up, do this, you know, those type of things, you know. And like I said, I tell the kids and I gave them my experience. I gave them my life story, how I grew up and how I overcome these obstacles to become a world champion, how I lived on my own when I was 16. And some of them were inspired by it. I met a young man who saw me one time on the streets, and he came to me all the way across the street. I see this guy, boom. He just wanted to shake my hand. He said, "Thank you so much. You helped me out." And then he's in a Marine uniform. He goes, "Look at me today. I'm doing so good." He goes, "Because you helped me out." You know what I'm saying? And that felt good, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I know that I wasn't going to be able to do that for everybody. But if God could put me in a place where I can change somebody's life, then it was worth it.
And you have.
Yeah.
So talking about hard work, dedication, never giving up. 16, you make that decision. I want to box. I want to go pro. Talk about that journey.
Well, at 16 is when I moved to Worcester
When you
to
moved
follow.
pro, but you tell yourself, I want to become a pro boxer. I
Yeah.
want to do that. Talk about that journey.
Well, I met Carlos Garcia he worked at Ionic Gap Boys and Girls Club at the time. And remember I used to come to Worcester every other weekend or stuff like that, visit my siblings.
Yep.
I had just started boxing in Springfield, found a gym over there, and my sisters heard about it. So when I came in one of the weekends, one of my sisters had a newspaper article of Carlos Garcia and the Ionic Gap Boys and Girls Club and the boxers. And one in particular, his name was Bobby Harris, who was a national champion and who's going for his next national championship. And they're talking about the fighters who travel. They've been traveling all over the country. And here I'm in Springfield, just training, stuck in the gym. I said, man, I want to do that. So on one of my visits on the weekends, I didn't come to visit my sisters. I got on the bus and I went straight to the Boys and Girls Club. And I talked to Carlos and I told him, I introduced myself. And I said, I basically asked him because I live in Springfield. Yep. I said, if I train out there but come out here every weekend, would you work with me? Because your program is way advanced than where I'm at. He started laughing. He's like, I can't do that. He goes, if you lived here, I would definitely train you. He goes, I love your ambition. I love, you definitely have good head, and I definitely would work with you. He said, but I can't do it part-time. I need you here. I said, okay. So that was around March, April of 1989. And I finished my sophomore year that June.
You moved.
And I moved, packed up my stuff, and came out here. My aunt let me live with her for like a month and a half, 2 months, and then I got it. That's when I became roommates with Bobby Harris, and we just set off. Let's go. We had the same goals. His dream was to be in the Olympics. My dream was to be a world champion boxer. So, but we got up early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, go running, go home, take a shower, go to school. After school, go to work. We used to
every
run
day.
Every day we go, and then except on the weekends. The club at the time was open on Saturdays, but not on Sundays. And we used to run a restaurant called Jimbo's, and then go to club, train. And sometimes we didn't even go to club. Towards the end of my amateur career, Jimbo's had a boxing gym upstairs. We used to train up there. So we used to spend all days at Jimbo's. Yep. But, that was graduated in 91 and turned pro in 92.
6 losses, right?
19. And throughout my whole career, I had 6 losses.
Which one was the toughest? Or which one was the hardest to swallow?
The hardest to swallow. I would say the hardest to swallow would be when I thought I defended my title successfully here with the DCU Center for the welterweight WBA welterweight championship, and they gave a split decision to Louis Collazo from New York, because although it was a great fight, I thought I pulled it off, especially being the champion in his hometown, and but the politics is the politics. It is what it is, and it worked out the way it worked out.
We asked, I don't know, did we ask Unc? I don't think we did, but I'm gonna ask you a prediction for the Jermaine fight, Jermaine versus Lopez.
So I got Jermaine winning by decision. And although Jermaine winning by decision is gonna be hard because Lopez, and I understand that, he's the
cash cow.
He's the cash cow of the promotion, but I just feel like Jermaine's gonna use this fight as like I've arrived, and he's already gone through the Lomachenko fight. He's already gone through,
I feel like the Loma has helped him because he was. I thought he was doing pretty good, but then he kind of slowed it down. So I think he learned. That's a big learning
for
step
you. What was that fight for you?
Which one?
Like, so Loma for Jermaine. Let's say this that Loma loss propels him to what fight was that for you? Whether it was a win or a loss, what fight was that for you that took you to the next level?
I would say the Frankie Randall fight.
That fight?
Yeah, the Frankie Randall. I was already arriving in there and stuff like that, but the adversity that going through that fight just knew that I had no quit in me. That was to the death, and from there everything just started springboarding. I started getting the rankings, and
if you could do it all over again, if you got a quick little redo.
Of what?
We'll go boxing first. We can do life, but if you could get a quick redo, what would you do different in your boxing career?
It's tough because I wouldn't have gone as far as I gone if I didn't have the people who were with me there and stuff like that. But there was maybe certain negotiations that had happened I probably would have taken control of sooner, so I wouldn't affect it. There's certain fights that didn't happen because I would say my managerial team that I had at the time were outsmarted, and then ended up affecting me and the team afterwards. Because then afterwards it wasn't the same. So if I had to do it over, I would probably have the same team, but I'd be involved in the negotiations. So what happened won't happen. You know, what I ended up finding out that happened afterwards, I would try to so that fight could happen. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That fight Madison Square Garden. So that fight in itself would have catapulted me to bigger paydays. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Name wise, financially, that
everything.
fight was
Right.
the
That was the fight,
would
right?
have been the fight. But on the flip side, you could also say maybe nutrition early on in your career,
no doubt about
because
that.
the Vargas fight could have
Yeah.
been the catapulting fight.
No, right. But that's the injury that I had on my
Which
on my
one was
wrist.
the flu one? Bags of IV to wake you
That
up.
was an HBO fight in
That's crazy.
Vegas. So
That's
that was,
what
yeah.
people don't see, right?
Yeah, no, people don't.
Yeah, that's
don't
people
see.
Bags of
don't
IV, 30 minutes, his heart would have gave out.
3 bags.
3 bags.
That's
3 bags of
nuts.
IV to
Yeah.
wake him up. Doctor said 30 more minutes, his heart would have just gave out before a fight.
I can't even put my mind into that, man. That's crazy. Just
It's
as
a lot of work.
yeah, as a fan, I'm a boxing fan, UFC fan. I just I watch and get excited, but I'm like, yo,
That's
why
why
my-
I have a lot of respect for these fighters who are coming up now. And although they have that goal and that dream of becoming whatever their dream and goal is, champion, not champ, whatever fights, whatever. But it takes a lot of work for them to prepare to get there.
do you think it was tougher back then or tougher now?
I think it's tougher back then. Now
Definitely tougher back then.
now
I
they
agree
they
with
have a lot more
Social media makes things easier now.
Yeah.
It makes,
Yeah, now
it
you
makes
got
getting
guys-
your name out there
Yeah, right.
and
Put a little highlight to
I mean,
it.
look,
There you go.
think about this. And there's no discredit to him because he does work hard. I know people who have gone out to sparrings and actually have worked with him. They said that the guy does work hard. He's not really doing anything different than any other up and coming fighter. But I mean, Jake Paul makes more money per fight than some world champions have ever
but
made.
he got
in their
you got to
careers.
remind I don't think all his fan base or even like 10% of his fan base is boxing fans. Like real boxing fans. Those are like the YouTuber kids that believe he's like
but that's my
that
point.
believe.
That's what makes
yeah.
today
Yeah. But
easier.
I feel that's a
than-
whole different, conversation, bro. Because that's you'll see like little kids, that grew up with him, watching him, that are still his fans that support him, bro. No matter who he fights.
But that's what makes it. Because I like me personally, I feel like if
But
Roy,
you know
Jones,
what?
if Roy Jones Jr. fought in
I
the
don't-
social media
yeah.
era, Floyd Mayweather would have been irrelevant.
But at first I was like, it sucks that he's selling this and other boxers not making, but he made Amanda get paid. So something good came out of that, and I'm like, yo, that's fire that you did that.
He's still doing good stuff with it. Like not necessarily.
she had her first 3-minute round, first
Right.
3-minute world championship.
But he's also
round.
helping. He's running up now. He's doing a promotional company and he's helping other fighters progress in their career. So if they can use their platform to help the sport of boxing and help other people, then that's fine. Like personally, as a boxer for them, I wasn't a fan because I knew it was not. I don't want to say real because it's real, but
No, I
not wrestling.
agree.
But it's not like
Yeah,
elite boxing. It's just whatever. But for what they're doing for the sport of boxing, they're doing great stuff for the sport of boxing.
Yeah, that's why when he did that with like Amanda, I was out. That's dope.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Anything in life you would change?
Man, I don't know because I wouldn't want nothing to change. What?
Do you guys
What?
believe if you change one thing, like one little thing?
Butterfly effect.
Yeah. Does that like change
Could
everything?
I could. You never know. Yeah, like
Even like today, like I don't know what you guys did this morning. If you change one thing, like would it change your whole day?
It could, man. Believe it or not, it could.
yeah, could it change like one thing? If you changed one thing now, could it change what happens 10 years
That's-
from now?
bro,
No,
that's-
not only that, no. There's decisions you make today that can affect you, like he said, years from now.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it becomes. My thing is you know how they say you gotta trust the process. You know what I'm saying? Just
Trust it.
you gotta trust it. You are where you are, based on the decisions that you made.
I
So
could do it
now,
all over again.
if you wanted to change, make better decisions.
I could do it all over again. I would have stuck to baseball. $400 million count. You kidding me? Otani just got $700 million. You kidding me?
Bro, I was pretty nice at
You kidding me?
So if I can give another life advice to people,
you give it.
I got to do this because this is one of the things that he's always this way. I know where it comes from, but and he's 30 years old and it still hasn't changed. Is don't make life-changing decisions based on money. You got to be passionate about what you do. That, I'm telling you, at the end, way, way, way more important. The money comes and goes. It'll give you a lifestyle that you may want to live, but it's not going to make you a better person. It's not going to make you a happy person. It's just everything is momentarily. You got to love what you do. You got to be passionate about what you do. You know what I'm saying?
I told you can go far with that. Let's take it to lessons and blessings.
Yeah.
All right. Lessons.
What we do with lesson. This is how we end the show. Is a lesson or a blessing that happened this week or recently. So it could be either a lesson or a blessing that happened recently. You could go out. You could start first. You want me to start or
I'll let you guys start.
you want to go first?
Start it.
Lesson. Damn, I don't know what I've been doing this weekend. Oh no, I think a blessing. I got a daughter on the way, so
Okay.
had an ultrasound, and it's weird but beautiful to know that I'm gonna be a father again. And like we were talking earlier, it's like my life is better, like money wise, everything wise is better, So I'm excited to see how this journey goes. That's my blessing this week.
I'll start off with lesson. I'll start off with blessing. For blessing, I would say ultimately if you stick things out, they do get better eventually. Like I had to ride out a really rough year, work-wise, like a really, really, really rough year. I had a lot of people doubting me. I had a lot of people who didn't think I was going to get through it. It was like a really rough year. And then more so, too, like, it's crazy getting a promotion and then not even feeling like it's a promotion because you work so far away that it's all going to, like, gas. But, 2024, everything's, looking up. We got, like, 2 raises already. My commute's going to be, I don't even have to turn my car on.
You in Worcester?
Yeah, I officially come to Worcester.
7:58, leaving the house.
At the end of February. So yeah, I won't even be turning my car on.
Nice.
So there's that.
I will say, don't forget about the car. Still show it love because it drove you all the way over there.
It did. But I need to tone it down. I already done put car's brand new. I already put 6,000 miles on it.
That's crazy.
When did I get that car? I mean,
Recently,
3 months
yeah.
ago? Not even. And lesson. I would say there may not be something wrong with your aim. You just have to change the target.
I'm gonna add on lesson because I didn't give my lesson. I'm gonna say what I learned recently, man, is everybody everybody wants to see you win, but it's true what they say. They don't want to see you win more than they do, because when you start making more noise than them, you'll see the hate and you'll see people's true color, which sucks. But like OG said, trust God.
Trust the process.
It's on you.
Yeah. I think for lesson for me is no matter how good life is and no matter how good and successful you think you are, you can always be a better person, a better father, and a better husband. So always try to strive to be better. And blessings is, I thank God every single day that we wake up and we're healthy, we have health. For me, my family, my kids, healthy, they're doing well. So that to me is a blessing.
We end it like that.
I'm the biggest blessing because I'm his favorite. I'm his favorite.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Okay, dream so